Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest. I wasn't going to do another daily update video today because at about 10 a.m. I said to myself, what a boring day in regards to announcements. Nothing really substantial there, maybe one or two. So I thought I'll release another video. I actually recorded that video to be released, but then I thought, why not do a daily update? Because these sort of videos seem to be quite popular and I have to listen to my viewers. I'll give the viewers what they want. So I might not do these daily updates every single day because I also like those standalone videos. And the video I recorded today was on Point Terror, and I'll release that over the next few days. But those sort of videos gets quite a few less engages than these daily updates or even technical updates as well. So let's have a look at the announcements. Interesting announcements released today. And quite a few companies I know nothing about released announcements. So I'll have a brief look at those companies. And in fact, the first company to release an announcement today is a company called TWE Limited. They released an announcement at 7:30 a.m. half-year results. Again, these companies releasing half-year full results, most of those companies are New Zealand-based companies because their financial year finishes in March or something like that. And you're also seeing a lot of AGMs right now as well. So May tends to be result season for New Zealand companies, AGM season for those companies that have their financial year finishing December 31st, and also confession season as companies realize or management realize how their companies are performing. So we have seen a lot of trading updates over the last few weeks, and today we did see a few trading updates as well. So let's have a look at the first announcement. Now, I won't spend a lot of time on TWE Limited. This is a small cap insurance company based out of New Zealand. It is not a high quality company. The reason I know it's not a high quality company is just by looking at the chart. I know nothing else about this company, but all you have to do is look at the chart to know what sort of quality it is. So this goes all the way back to, well, it goes all the way back to 2000. Look at that chart. So actually, we'll have a look at the monthly chart. So this is the exact opposite of a chart you want to see if you're a shareholder of a company for the long term. Share price has fallen. It's gone from the top left to the bottom right. Share price back in 2000 was about $3.63. Now it's 56.5 cents. So straight away, I know this is not a high quality company. Now, in saying that, you could argue that there's a nice, strong support level at 50 cents. You can see the share price has really struggled to get below 50 cents. The first time it struggled to get below 50 cents was back in 2016. So this support level has been in play for 7 years after a really long downturn back between 2015 and 16. Share price fell from $1.75 to 50 cents. So share price has struggled to get below 50 cents. So whenever the share price gets about 50 cents, we do see some buying. But based off the quality of this company, perhaps, and the history of the share price going down over time, I think potentially 50 cents will be breached. And then if it is breached, the share price probably will tumble from there. That's all I know about this company is just the chart. And more than likely, if you look at revenue per share growth, that sort of thing for this company, it's going down as well, just like the share price. So I don't want to spend too much time on a low quality company. The only reason I might even think about buying TWE is if there's any sort of short to medium term uptrend or tailwinds behind the company. Fonterra Shareholders Fund released update on Q3 milk price and capital return. Now, I did think that was a little bit positive. Now, I'm recording this video at 4:50, so I'm a little bit late. So I do know how some of these companies have reacted, or the market has reacted to some of these announcements. So I was sort of positive about this announcement, and the market was positive as well, up 3.1%. Sandfire, first concentrate produced at Mothio. Now negative sentiment in copper, down 2.3%. The next interesting announcement, well, not interesting, but Volpara Health Technologies released their preliminary final report. I don't care about Volpara's 4-year results because they release quarter results or Appendix 4Cs. I'm interested in those results. I don't care about the 4-year results. So I pay attention to Volpara every July, October, January, and what's the other one? April. And we're in the middle of April. And what's the next one? July. So the next time I'll pay attention to Volpara is in July when they release their March quarter results. Not March quarter, June quarter results. Boart Longyear had their annual AGM. Their AGM today. I don't care about this company at all, so let's go further on. This is the really interesting one. Clover Corporation Clover market guidance update. Now, I'm interested, or was interested in this company because my next Kneppy's analysis is on this company. And this was a revenue downgrade. So not a profit downgrade, a revenue downgrade. So the revenue is going to be slightly lower than the previous guidance. So you would expect whenever you think of the term a downgrade, the share price would go down. For Clover Corporation, share price up 4.5% on an overall negative day on the Australian markets. I think the XGO was down about 1.1%. So interesting reaction from the market, but it was a muted reaction, not much volume for Clover Corporation. And there was, let's have a look at the chart for this one. We won't have a look at the weekly chart or monthly chart. We'll have a look at the daily chart. There was a really interesting reaction for Clover Corporation a few days ago. Share price up 11.8%, but you can see share price really not doing anything. Not a lot of volume. Yeah, volume today was fairly weak. So overall, the market didn't really care about this announcement, even though it was a revenue downgrade. Visioneering Technologies, I don't care about that company. They had the AGM as well. Market cap for that company is really low, 7 million, burning through cash. Pacific Edge Limited, and recent IPO on the ASX, I think September last year or the year before. Share price has fallen 75% since they IPO'd. A market cap is still about 350 million, burning through a lot of cash. They do have a fair bit of cash on hand, but they are burning through a lot of cash. And I need to see this company hit that very important inflection point of becoming operating cash flow and free cash flow positive. Don't think they release quarter results, if I remember correctly. No reaction from the market at all today for Pacific Edge, even though they said they delivered on their growth strategy in financial year 2023. So I'll have a closer look at that particular announcement later after I finish recording this video. Helia Group, I have no interest in this company. They were once called Genworth Mortgage up until late last year. Changed the name. I'm always wary when a company changes their name. And they released a trading update, and it was a negative reaction, down 5%. So, and I'll show you why I'm not interested in this company. And it comes back to the chart. So if you look at the weekly chart, let's have a look at the monthly chart. No, weekly chart will do. Share price, done nothing. In fact, share price now is lower than when they IPO'd on the ASX back in 2014. Not the sort of company you want to be owning in your portfolio, even though probably there's a nice dividend yield. It says 15.5% dividend yield and price to earnings 7. That's TradingView. I always have to look at TradingView's dividend yield and price to earnings with a grain of salt. Sometimes they can be wrong. This could be a dividend yield trap. People see that dividend yield and think, "Whoa, what a great company." I'll have a look at that trading update, but based off the reaction from the market, down 4.7, it was not a positive trading update. Next company to release interesting announcement today, not many, as I mentioned before, was Treasury Wine. This was negative. And I would have been really surprised if the share price for Treasury Wine did not decrease today. And it did decrease today, down 7.8%. And when you look at the chart, this is a negative looking chart, if ever you've seen one. I'll just move my over here. And we'll look at the daily chart. So I was a shareholder of this company for a short time. So my opinion on the quality of a company can change through time. So I did consider Treasury Wine to be a high quality company between about 2000 and when they list 2000 and so they listed 2011 or 2012, yeah, 2011. I did consider this company high quality between about 2015 and about 2020. You can see the share price in a beautiful uptrend for about 4 years there. But things change. In my opinion, this company changed as well. So I no longer consider Treasury Wine to be a high quality company. So when I did see the share price move into an uptrend late last year, I took a position. And because I thought this was a low quality company, I'm not going to hold shares or the shares in this company for the long term. And if I see the chart under stress or this uptrend coming to an end, I would sell my shares. And the main reason behind that, I want to own high quality companies for as long as possible, but I'm trading low quality companies. Now, hopefully, and my thought at the time was, hopefully, Treasury Wines could prove they are transitioning back again from low quality to high quality. And if that did happen, I wanted to be a shareholder. But I was just concerned about the negative a sort of not negative sentiment, but the market was unsure about this company. You can see the share price going up and down in waves here. And then eventually they released this trading update. It was a negative day, massive volume, a really ugly one-day candlestick with a long tail to the top end above the body, the main body. And that's there's a name for that, I forget. A hanging man sort of pattern or one-day candlestick. And that's really bearish. The last time the share price was this low was way back in, looks like July last year. So we're at about a 9-month low in Treasury Wine Estates share price. So a very bearish looking chart for this company. Not a surprise when you do have a read of this update from the company. Aries Resources, high grade intercepts. I don't really pay attention to these sort of announcements. And the market didn't either, down 5.5%. And I think that was it for up until 10 a.m. Then I went to take my dog to the vet to get his shot for what's it called, arthritis. I came back, watched some TVs, and then I came back to my computer at 4 p.m. And there was a couple of AGMs today. I wanted to have a look at Adbri and Costa Group. So they released their announcements about their AGMs at 10:11 and 10:22. And I wasn't surprised to see Adbri up 22%. And I wasn't surprised to see Costa Group up 6.7%. So both announcements, both trading updates. So Costa Group, should I look at both of these? Yeah, why not? There was a lot of positives to read in these trading updates, these AGMs. So I was not surprised to see the reaction from the market. Now let's have a look at Costa Group. Much less bullish when it comes to Costa Group's chart. And it's pretty easy to see why. So if you look at the daily chart, this was not a breakout, unlike what we see in Adbri, which I'll show you in a second. So even though this was a really good day, up almost 7%, share price is only at an 8-9 day high. And share price still in a downtrend. So this is not the breakout that I'm looking for, even though this was a positive announcement. And they talked about really, so let's have a look at their announcement. They did mention, I think I zoomed a little bit too much there. Now I've got to find it. Of course, I'm probably won't be able to find it. It should be fairly obvious, this trading update. Here we go, trading update and outlook. And they mentioned really good weather conditions. So return to warmer temperatures, higher light levels, and lower rainfall across our major growing regions is a positive for their farming operations. Who would know that? I knew Select Harvest, that would be positive, but for Costa Group, that's also a positive. I wouldn't have thought that. So that's why Costa Group had a positive reaction from the market. And Adbri up 23%, probably one of the, if not the best performing companies on the ASX in terms of size of the company. I should have wrote down what page I want to look at. Here we go. Financial year 23 outlook. It's all good. It was all good. Underlying net profit after tax for the period ending April 23 is significantly above January to April 2022. Pricing positive impact of last year's price increases, as well as further pricing gains in 2023 across most product lines as we maintain strong pricing discipline. So really positive outlook from Adbri, and it's no shock that we see a positive reaction from the market. And this is a potential breakout. This is what I'm looking for each and every day, a potential breakout, a really positive one-day candlestick, high volume, and the share price moved above a resistance level, which was at around about $1.92. That was the previous highs we saw back in February of this year. So share price of Adbri right now is at about 8-month high, 7 or 8 month high. Now, I don't act to these sort of potential breakouts straight away. I want to see how the market reacts over the next few trade days. Does it remain bullish? And possibly we might see the share price retreat below that support level. And that means this potential breakout was a false breakout. But positive update from Adbri. Share price has been in a well-defined downtrend for a while. Yeah, it was in an uptrend until 2000. This is the weekly chart, by the way. Share price went to a high of $7 in 2018 and has been in a downtrend since then. So possibly this is a turnaround for Adbri, and of course a good result. And not only that, because of these results, we saw positive reaction in other building companies like James Hardie and Boral. Those companies' share price increased as well today. But we can look at them, those. I've got I have a watch list called buildings. So James Hardie up 1.6, Borer up 2.3, CSR up 0.4, Brambles, which is not really a building company, down 0.7. I'm not sure why I've got Brambles in there, but I don't tend to change companies when they're in a particular watch list because I know they're in that watch list over time. It's just become habit. Anyway, I'm not sure. I think that could be it for today. Shine Justice. Yeah, it's interesting. Antio had a ASX price creep because the share price is up 35% on no news. And the other thing I wanted to mention is another company released their half-year or full-year results late on Monday the 22nd, which I completely missed because Catapult Group released their results at about 7:30 p.m. You can't release any result or any announcement later than that. And typically, if you see an announcement, price-sensitive announcement released so late, there is a good chance it's going to be negative. But for Catapult, they were positive. I haven't even had a look at these results, but just based off the market reaction, Catapult, the share price could be breaking out. So I have been a shareholder of this company in the past, twice, and just look at the volatility in this company's share price. Woof, look at that chart. I still remember when this really big uptrend happened back between about 2015 and 16. What a time to be alive as a Catapult shareholder. But since then, I see a lot of potential in this company, but they just can't realize that potential. And there was a very strong support level of 62.5 cents, and it reached it on the 27th of March week. It got to 62.5 cents, and we've seen a bounce since then. You can see every single time the share price gets to that level over the past 4 or 5 years, we've seen a bounce. That was a time to take a position in this company if you like this company for the long term. And if the share price gets to, say, about $2.25, you can see share price gets to that level and it struggles. So I missed those results. I'm going to have a quick look at those results either tomorrow or during the weekend. And I think that's it. Now, I'll just show you some of the other things I do each and every day. And I haven't shown you any of this yet in my videos. I've got it right here. So sometimes what I do is in ComSec, all I do is I go to XGO. So you put XGO into search ComSec. It brings up the index makeup. And then I just have a look to see the best performing companies and the worst performing companies on the XGO and the XSO or XAO. And you can even do the XSO as well. And this way you just have a very quick look at the best performing companies, the worst performing companies. So for instance, on the XGO, the worst performing company today was Treasury Wines. And then if you have a look at all these bad performing companies, there's a common theme: gold companies and retail companies. But if you look at the best performing companies on the XGO today, there's another common theme. So we've got Megaport, Polynovo, Costa Group, and all that one. NextDC, Altium, Telix Pharmaceuticals, Technology One, Square, Winor Boral, and Reliance Worldwide Corporation, Fisher and Paykel, also Bega. But the main theme about those, say, 10 best performing companies, apart from those companies that release a positive announcement, tech companies and biotech companies, so Polynovo and Telix. So you can just see by having a close look at the best performing companies, the worst performing companies, you can just see which sectors perform well today, which sectors didn't perform well at all. You can do the same thing with the XAO. And the worst performing company today was 29Metals. This is really interesting. So 29Metals might have had a bit of capitulation today. Look at the daily chart. And the reason I'm thinking this could be capitulation for 29Metals is the volume, huge volume on daily share price, down 15% on no news. And that could be capitulation. I wouldn't be surprised to see a pretty good bounce from here at the share price of 64 cents. So I'll keep an eye on 29Metals the next few days. And other than that, we have got here Terracom, which is coal, and other mining companies in the worst performing companies on the XAO. And then if you look at the best performing companies, you have Adbri, which we understand why that was the best performing companies. Appendix here as well. SiteMinder, again, a couple of other tech companies, and a few other healthcare companies here as well. And then you can even go to the XSO. Small ordinaries. Performed a little bit better than the ordinaries today and the XGO. The worst performing company, similar as the XAO. And then we also have a DES here, Accent Group. I think they would have been on the XAO as well. And the best performing company is very similar to the XAO. Any differences? OFX Group had another really good day today, up 4%. Weebit Nano up 2.1%. So not a lot of good performing companies on the XSO compared to bad performing. Anyway, so that's what I do a lot. It doesn't take a lot of time. And the other thing, of course, I do, and I've showed you in other daily updates, is I look at top gainers, top losers on market index. I won't go through this much now. I might do this myself, but you can do this yourself. I don't have to go through this. And the main thing I go through this is just to see if any of these companies did release an interesting announcement. So Insentia Pay up 71%. And what I usually do is I just go to their market index page. No announcements, so it's up 70% on nothing. Andiotech, we already know they had an ASX price query, so it's up 35% on nothing. Skin Elements, Halo Technologies, Love Group, Stavely, Adbri, we already talked about that. And I'm not really caring about any of these other companies. Megaport up 12.8% on no news, I think. Task Group up. Oh, Task Group. I do own Task Group. So because I'm a shareholder, I'm just being selfish right now, having got Task. Oh, this is a beautiful looking chart. Oh, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, yeah, Task Group. Yes, yes. Good volume. We're seeing growing volume. That's exactly what I want to see. Growing volume. You had this volume spike in April, and we've seen not as high a volume as that, but maintaining good volume. You can see before this spike in volume, there was a lot of days where volume was very low. And since that spike in volume, we haven't seen many days where volume was low. And that's the reason why the share price is rallying, because the reason I took a position in this company is just the potential of this company is quite high. And I'm starting to think the market is seeing what I'm seeing with Task Group. So I'm just looking at that because I own personal things. Now let's have a look at the worst performing companies. 29Metals, yeah, this is really interesting. I'm going to be really interested to see how they go tomorrow, which is a Friday. Carbon Revolution, doing this very quickly. Bezra Gold down 10.4%. I've talked about those, and if Money Me down 10%. They're doing a capital raising. Share price went from doing capital raising at 8 cents. Share price went to 16 cents just after capital raising. Now it's fallen all the way back towards the capital raising price at 8.8 cents. And that's not no news. It's just falling and falling and falling. Anyway, I think that's it for today's video. So the other thing I do, I do this fairly quickly, is I have another watch list called Daily Look. So these are companies that have released interesting announcements recently. I just want to see how the market reacts. For instance, what's a good for instance here? So Appen, well, Appen, yeah, Appen. No, we look at Serco and then Cettire. So Serco had a really good announcement on the 17th of May, share price up 38%. And the share price has remained above the highs for that day. That's actually fairly bullish. So not a lot of selling when it comes to Serco. So this was a potential breakout. And as we go through time, I think there is more validity to calling this a breakout for Serco. On the flip side, Cettire looks like it did break out above a resistance level, went above $2, went to about $2.30. And then we've seen a lot of selling coming in the last few days, 4 straight down days. And now the share price has fallen below that $2 resistance level or support level. So that was potentially a false breakout. Wouldn't be surprised just based off this chart to see the share price get above $2 again, because the share price is in an uptrend. And what else? James Hardie, Austal released that $3 billion contract. Share price looked like it might have broken out, but because of resistance, because of all those shareholders bought in high prices in the past, we would have seen some selling, and we have seen selling in the last 4 days. So 4 straight down days in a row, only down 0.5% on the 22nd, but then down 4.3%, 1.3%, and down a further 1.3%. So share price now is less than the lows on the day they released that important announcement about that big contract. So even though I wouldn't say this potential breakout is now null and void, we might see a positive reaction from the market moving forward. If we were seeing lower volumes, always have a look at the volume. We have maintained higher volumes over the last 4 trading days. So we're still seeing those shareholders who bought in in the last year at much higher prices, they're still selling Austal shares right now, regardless of that announcement. They don't care about the announcement. They don't care if it's a bullish announcement. They just know this is a dog stock because the share price went down straight after they bought in. That's how investors regard dog stocks. It's not about the quality of the company. It's what happens with the share price after they bought in. I have heard this quite often in the past 5 or so years. So that's all I have for today's video, this daily update, the 25th of May. If you have any questions, any thoughts about anything that happened on the ASX today, love to hear your thoughts. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for today. Have a good day. Bye.